How you doing? My name's Steve Reagan, CSO Online. I'm here with Isaac from SafeBreach, and today we're going to talk about risk assessments and some other essentials, I guess is a good way to put it. We're at Black Hat in Las Vegas. How's the show been so far?
Excellent. A lot of people, very crowded.
Excellent.
Good year.
Excellent. This is always a good thing when it's crowded, but yet, as you can tell, it's not overcrowded, but there's a good number of people here today.
Yeah.
Risk assessments. You've done your fair share in your career. You've seen some good, you've seen some bad. Let's start with the low-hanging fruit here. What are some really bad examples of where companies go wrong when they're doing a risk assessment?
Yeah. So first of all, Steve, thank you for having me on the show. So in many cases, I see companies concentrating very much on the infiltration. You know, as previously in our industry, a lot of companies came out with the message that you can stop the attacker on the border at the entrance of your company. So a lot of companies will put focus on pen testing their website or pen testing their external facing systems. But as we see today, when a company is getting breached, it's not about the getting in, which is in question. It's not a if, it's a when. And then it becomes a game of whether the hacker can move into the target and whether he can take the target and exfiltrate it. And what I've seen is many companies kind of giving up this area, saying, no, let's not do that. Let's focus on a risk on the infiltration, and essentially they're losing the war.
So they're looking at it backwards, essentially, is how you say.
In a way, they don't differentiate. I mean, if you hear about what the kill chain is trying to come and tell us, is that it's a process. Getting breached is basically a number of steps. And every single step is where you, as a defender, can come in and break the chain. But if a company doesn't make the risk assessment, doesn't cover the whole chain, only concentrate on the infiltration, they're basically missing out choke points along the way where they could have maybe the hacker would have got in, maybe jumped on a salesperson laptop or some credentials he used, but then once he's in, he's locked, he has nowhere to go, and they're missing that point.
So then when they look at things that come past the first layer of defense, so to speak, what are some examples of really poor implementation when it comes to defense on those areas?
So we're talking about anything from basic segmentation that companies today are not pursuing, not segmenting their network right. We're talking about positioning the security controllers but not validating that they're working. Maybe you bought state-of-the-art firewall, but you put it in the wrong place in your network. How do you know that these firewalls works in the right way? Mm-hmm. And then essentially going all the way to the exfiltration. Once you know the asset, you know what you're afraid a hacker will try to steal, you can barricade that network location, that particular server, and guard it. I mean, when you think about it, the hackers, they're coming to your network. It's your playground. You have the entire visibility. You can put whichever traps and doors, and they will have to hoop through these hoops. But not doing so, it's missing out the point.
So on the opposite end of that then, what are some really great examples you've seen here recently that stood out in your mind?
Exactly. So, I mean, there's a rise in all of these different verticals. I mean, there's anything from microservices, which pushing segmentation, and you have the rise of the red teams, which more and more companies now understand that they need to retain these talent in-house and have these people continuously trying to break their network and tell them where's the weak points ahead. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing this kind of thinking is basically changing from reactive to proactive. How you know if this firewall working correct? Let the red team try and get ahead of it. But also here there's a limitation because how many people out there can do this job and you can trust them to do this job? I mean, the talent pool doesn't grow daily as much as your network and other things. So today we see in the show a number of companies trying to push the continuous validation aspect, which basically means you need to have a machine constantly checking these avenues, the in, the out, and in between. And I think that's a very blessed concept and a very good direction to go to.
Excellent. Thanks a lot for your time, man.
Thank you very much,
have a good show.
Steve. Thank you.